Namaskar, Adab, and salams to all 420 grams' loyal followers, and salams to the two of you, my brothers. One from the bubble in Goa, and another from a different sort of bubble in Srinagar. Uh, Ishfaq and Mehraj, two legends of Kashmir football, both of whom have played for all of the big three Calcutta clubs, East Bengal, Mohanmedan, and of course Mohammedan Sporting, are here to join us on this regular Sunday afternoon slot, which we've been bringing to you, I think, with a fair amount of consistency, fairly more consistent than we have been ever in the past. And this is, of course, our brand new YouTube channel as well. So thank you for joining us, those who have. We'll get the chat started in a couple of minutes, guys. Once we have a few people on with us, I'm just trying to take a look at how many have already tuned in. The idea of actually starting this new channel was to so that more notifications go out to people and they know exactly when we go live. So it's updated, and of course, hopefully, thanks to your Instagram followers as well, some people manage to catch that notification and join us on the live chat. Of course, two of our regular panelists or the regular crew are not with us today. One has a video call with his new gaffer, Mr. Rendy Singh, is going to be busy figuring out stuff at East Bengal club, and we'll talk a bit about East Bengal and Mohun Bagan later on. But I think should we get straight in it? First of all, why don't you guys tell me how you guys doing? Yeah, पहले तो यही बताएं.
Let's ask Mehraj. Mehraj is joining us.
All well, Siddharth. We have been training here in Srinagar now. I mean, keeping all the COVID-19 procedures in place, and we have started actually training with the under 18 group here in State Football Academy, which I think is going to be. I mean, again, they're going to play. I think I League. They are playing some local tournaments over here, and this is for the first time there are so many local tournaments happening in Kashmir, where the players they are getting some games to play. So it's like a football festival here right now in Kashmir, and a lot of tournaments happening in Srinagar, in other districts of Valley, which is actually a positive thing, which is happening after a very long time here, and we are keeping busy ourselves with those tournaments going as guests and as participants, just to promote sometimes, and maybe taking our team there, to participate in such tournaments, and try to be more occupied with the game.
Yeah, fair enough, Mehraj. It's been a pretty tough year. I think since August of last year, things have been very, very challenging for all you guys living in Kashmir, in the valley. Before we get any further on this chat, we have another special guest, another legend has joined us. Sharda is here. Thanks for coming in, Sharda. I'm sorry I texted you so last minute. But I just thought maybe Sunday afternoon you don't have too much else going on, and you can spare a few minutes to join and chat with all of us. Just get a recap on, of course, the I League qualifiers, as well as what's happening in the ISL bubble in Goa, and what's happening on the ground in Kashmir in terms of grassroots football. So Shadab, please feel free to sort of co-host this conversation. Jump in.
Thanks so much for the invite. I just jumped in. This is the thing about Kashmir. You say Kashmir and you just say, yes, I'm coming. No problem. I'll be there. This sort of, I'm sort of emotionally invested in Kashmir football. I think I've become emotionally invested in the Indian football only for the last 2 years, fighting with various ghosts and beasts and the rest of it. But no, it sounds like a great thing. I just heard the tail end of Mehraj's conversation. Hi, Ishfaq, how are you? I've spoken to you and to Mehraj also in Srinagar. I met him. It's just great to hear that there is a festival. I don't know if people know that I'm on this WhatsApp group of Kashmir football. I don't think they know I'm there. I'm just kind of
No, you are there.
yes,
there.
yes. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
I can see that there is activity and that there are things going on. I don't step in. I just follow what's happening, and hopefully, this sounds like a great program that's there, and there's activity, and it sounds incredible. I keep saying is Kashmir is where you can place all sport all year round almost, and I'm so glad to see that what is that there is to listen to the stories that a little bit that I've heard just getting into this conversation and following a little bit on that group.
Fair enough. Please do add me to this group as well.
Yes, Siddhant, why not? You should be there.
Yeah. I'm on the J&K Sports Media group. I think there's
No,
another WhatsApp group.
that is not our group. Our
This
is,
is
I
a
think,
khas group that I'm in. I'm in a khas group. I want to say. I'm so honored.
that is the fake group.
अच्छा
You are in
Yeah.
Nakli group.
नकली ग्रुप हाँ मतलब टोपी आप लोग पहन के आए हैं लेकिन पहना मुझे रहे हैं टोपी
That's the group I'm in.
but सही है no so please do add me it'll be good to stay in touch with what's happening
Yes, Siddhant, yes.
I also saw a couple of days ago, Mehraj, maybe you can give us a quick update on that, the inauguration of a new rugby ground, synthetic rugby ground.
Yes. It is actually in the heart of city where you may have visited that polo ground, Sharda. I think you have been there. You saw it actually. She came to the S-2 turf. It's just besides that S-2 turf, which was actually the football ground earlier we used to play.
Yeah.
I think Ishfaq has played a lot of games there. I think one of the big clubs of Jammu and Kashmir, which was State Road Transport Corporation. Transport Corporation. And we used to call it Transport Ground at that time. So it was a very good field. But I think there are a lot of things happening in Jammu and Kashmir now in terms of sports, and they want to, build the infrastructure of every sport, not only football. And rugby, I think there was no rugby field in Srinagar and maybe in Kashmir. So this is the one they have. This is the property of State Sports Council here, and they have come up with the concept of making it a rugby field now, and which is actually a good. There are a lot of rugby players here now playing rugby, and there should be some ground, some field for the rugby players also. And the government has come up with a very nice project, which is a rugby football field. And it is actually in the heart of the city. It's accessible to everyone, and a lot of kids they can play rugby now also in Kashmir.
बढ़िया भाई. Also wanted to check what. So I also noticed that there's a women's team that is training in rugby there, and a bunch of those women. I think the captain Soliha is her name. If I'm
Solia.
Yeah.
Solia, yeah. She is the one who is keeping all the girls together for the rugby, and she's actually taking the lead, I think, to build a rugby team here. And when women are involved in rugby, and the government want to do a lot of things for the women here as well. So maybe something for football and rugby. When girls play rugby, and it's actually a very unique thing in Kashmir, and government shows interest because they also want, when they are doing something for the men, for the boys, they have to do something for the girls as well. And rugby, football, and cricket, and I think the girls are also involved here in Kashmir now.
Has there been, can I just jump in a little bit? Has there been any sort of increased attention or funding for sports, whether it's one way or the other, since you're talking about rugby and you're talking about women's football or just general football? Has that what's happened, or is it just self-generated by all you guys saying, no, we have to do something? Like you can see in the group that they said, we are doing our practice, we don't care what's happening,
No, I think there is certainly a lot of things which are happening from the state government, and they want to build the infrastructure. And there are always a lot of funding even for sports here in Jammu and Kashmir. And people, they want to keep the youth engaged with the sports, and that is the only reason they come up with those projects, just to keep the youth engaged. And maybe it's good for the youth as well, because when you have something like rugby, something like football, something like cricket to play, and which keeps the youth away from all the rest of the activities like drugs. Maybe some of them they are not. They're always watching movies on the TVs. The kids they are always on the mobile, which actually makes them very lazy kind of thing. And I think this is a very unique concept which the government of Jammu and Kashmir has come up with. And I think the ultimate aim is to to build the infrastructure and to keep the youth engaged?
Well, I think I'm jumping in for this since I'm from Kashmir also, but I think government has to do, it's their job to make the infrastructure. And especially we have sports council, we have youth service and department, and get a lot of maybe a little bit extra fund on the name of Kashmir. Uh, so I'm not expert on rugby, but I don't know whether one should play on the AstroTurf artificial ground and rugby, because it's very similar to football, twisting and turning, and sliding is a lot more than football, and that too, front sliding where you try to score goals and all that. How good is an artificial ground for that? I'm not sure. Or maybe rugby has different kind of ground. Uh, but as Mehraj was telling, like it's good, really good for youth. Like there are some things which we recently create NIF there, National and International Forum of Footballers, who are doing a lot of activities, and we spend money from our own pocket to do those activities. And one of the sole reason for that is uh, players who are interested in football, they have not been getting matches, enough matches, and whether we all know the reasons why the matches are not been happening. And uh, then unfortunately our association plays a big part also, and then they are not that active as well, and they add up the cost. so
निकल गया ऐसा से निकल रहा है.
so we had to step in, and there is lot of, see, I blame government also. I'm not one who will just tell all the rosy things what they are doing. They have previously supported associations in wrongdoings, which unfortunately now they are saying us we don't have authority, but we are saying, if you don't have authority, how do you approve them? So which we want to change. It's not about we want to change because me, Mehraj, and some other guys are there, because football has given us a lot, and we want to give at least something back to our younger generation, at least a system where they can play a proper football, and then everybody won't become a professional footballer. We all know that. But coming from a conflict zone, at least football keeps them busy, get out of that mindset. Like it may be a very well, it is entertaining. Football is an entertainment sports also. It is the only entertainment available. We don't have theaters, we don't have any other thing. We are not allowed to go late night out. And there are, after last year, there are nakas everywhere, so people are still scared. There is still tension in atmosphere. So the sports is the best thing. If we can revive it, especially football, which is loud all over the state, and we are trying our bit, and we hope that we continue it. And as Mehraj said, it's kind of a festival. I am in touch with a lot of footballers, and they say they have never played so much of football in their entire career. Some of them have played 6 matches per week. I know that is wrong professionally, but such was the need that we need to have many tournaments, initiate many tournaments in different districts. Mehraj and me went for very far-fetched areas, like some of them are, in Bandipora, where on the shores of Walur Lake, where there are grounds and all that, had to reach there during this pandemic. And because it was earlier declared as a green zone, so we started from there. Now we are almost running 7 tournaments simultaneously.
Wow.
On different in different districts. And the best part is, like, all the district players are coming and participating in that. And I I personally, on behalf of Mehraj, also, like through this YouTube channel, say thanks to all those guys who make this possible. Because trust me, it takes a lot of effort and you to reach more from one district to other district to conduct tournament. And then the best part is, in today's world, all of these guys are spending money from their own pocket. And not only that, we, Mehraj and me, we conducted three exhibition matches, and the response, which I think I shared the photographs with you earlier, Annie, the 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 response was unbelievable, especially in Sopur.
Hmm.
And like they love football. So I think it it is the way I said, it is government's job that to build infrastructure. I think it is our moral responsibility, especially for Mehraj and me, to do something for the guys there. And we have seen, most of the businesses are gone down, so
Yeah.
as sports, in especially in Kashmir. Like people have been locked in for 6 months for this pandemic, but Kashmir unfortunately is from 1 year or more than that.
More than a year.
So, so yeah, so I can understand. I'm sitting here in Goa, at least enjoying practice with a secure bio bubble and training kids professionally. But it's very difficult in Kashmir to do. There are you have to sometimes. I am sure Mehraj, uh, like when parents come, they are concerned about everything, not only about football, but the rest of the things which goes around. But of late, there has been, unfortunately, the youth has been involved tremendously in drugs. Like where every day, if you read Kashmir news, police have caught some or other drug peddlers selling drugs in Srinagar or other parts. I don't know what exactly is happening because I have never seen in my entire life, you know, like, that kind of
Khuleam.
Kuleam. Yeah, exactly. Matlab, drug mafias and all that are like everywhere.
Hmm.
And for that, it's again, it becomes so very important for people like me, Mehraj, and other sports like Parvez. I'm regularly in touch with him also to to to, to bring young kids to the ground and at least motivate them, be their role models, and meet them and share our own story. Because um, Mehraj, for example, if I tell Mehraj's story to a kid, because Mehraj is a successful footballer and from Kashmir, and it might inspire him. And same goes to the other top sports persons in Kashmir. They have to come forward and motivate them and be their role models. And when you have homegrown role models, we will have more players to come in.
What,
Just
what?
a
Yeah, sorry,
question.
sorry, go on, Sharda.
Sorry, Siddhant.
No, no.
Just a question for both Mehraj and for Ishfaq. What is it that kids ask you when they come to talk to you? I mean, what is it that the young people there want to know? What are the questions that come to you when you are there, open to chat, turn up at the ground? क्या
There
पूछते
are there are two types of age groups. One is younger age group who would just come to Mehraj deals a lot with them, and I know whenever I come there, they will always first just want to be around us.
हैं?
They just want to, like show us their football skills and all that. And I'm sure Mehraj deals a lot with them because he is head of State Football Academy. And then there is a little bit elder group who all want to try in professional clubs outside Kashmir. So these are the most common, things which we face when we, especially the elder age group under 18 and all that. They all want to play in professional football teams. Maybe Mehraj might have a different experience.
No, no, no. Totally agreed with you, Ishfaq. It is actually the same thing which is happening. A lot of kids, they come and they are looking for a platform actually where they can actually play and show their skills, and from there they can go and play outside. I mean, outside the state, maybe for some clubs and maybe for the country as well. So it is there. The kids are always there, but the only thing is we can always help them to reach to the clubs. But the only thing is the football has become very competitive these days. You need lot of experience now to be the part of the club, to be the part of the I League club, maybe for the second division club. Because there are a lot of players from all over the country now. So
Yeah.
many players, they come from the northeast, and they have got potential. And now if someone is trying to come from the Kashmir, he has to be equally good. So I think there are still a lot of things which has to happen in Kashmir in terms of football, where actually the kids, they grow as football players. They enhance their skills, and they'll become the players where we can actually recommend them to the clubs. But I think it's still a lot of we still have a lot of time. It takes time because uh, there were no such activities from past 20 years happening in Jammu and Kashmir. Only the league was happening, not a really good work on grassroots, and that is the only reason we don't have any players who actually we can recommend, and we can tell them, okay, you can go and play for the clubs. It's me and Ishfaq. We came out of the state in 2001, and from 2001 to 2020 now, not a single player who came after us to play for a club. Maybe some of few of them came, but they were not very successful. They came, they played for a club for a year or a two, and they came back. And now that is a big question to ask, and big question to think, where why what was the problem, why there were no players, which we could not why we could not produce players for the clubs, for the country. And when we think about it, and there are a lot of problems which are happening, and we don't want to discuss about everything here, because then it comes to the blame comes to the ones who are responsible here to run the football, and they have not done the job properly. So now, as Ishfaq said, we have made a group which is called National and International Footballs Forum, where me, Ishfaq, Arun Malhotra, and Sajid, and a lot of Hilal, all the young coaches, all the young players, they have joined together, and we have some ex-footballers who have represented country, represented state, who are with us just to revive the football of Kashmir. So,
Hmm.
which is actually a good exercise we are doing right now, and it is, trust me, it is getting very successful here. Where, as Ishfaq said, a lot of tournaments happening, and people, they do come. There is a lot of passion among the people of Jammu and Kashmir towards football. And when there is a football game, Ishfaq and me, we went to play a match in Sopor. In pandemic, I am talking about this 2 weeks, 3 weeks before. Ishfaq and me, we went. More than 10,000 people, they came to watch the game, and that is where is like 60 kilometers away from Sopor, from Srinagar. It's called Sopor, and it's a very good feeling, very good thing. When you see uh, football is played in villages also, and the passion is there. But the only thing is the work is not being done properly from over the years here, and that is the only reason the young generation, they are getting away from football. The people, they don't want to watch it now, because there is not a really good thing happening in football. If there are matches happening also, they are not very entertaining. The people who are taking part in players who are taking part in the games, they are not they don't have potential. They don't entertain. They don't, and the people who are watching the games, they are not really enjoying those games. And now we are actually, Ishfaq and me, a lot of people here, we are actually trying to 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 get the people back to football. And eventually there are a lot of tournaments happening. And same time, we are also working on the youth, the grassroots. And I think within this week, we are launching 15 academies here. And as Ishfaq said, it is not sponsored by anyone. It's me, Ishfaq, and some of the local players here. We are spending money from our own pockets just to promote the game. We are not doing any favor to anyone, but I think it's our moral responsibility. We have played for the country, we have played for the state. Now it's time for us to get back. If government is not doing, if the football association is not doing, but we should do it. We don't want, after 10 years, 20 years, the generation, they'll curse us for not doing anything. So we want to do best for the youth of Jammu and Kashmir at the moment, so that there is a lot of football. There is there are a lot of players who get actually involved with football, and maybe you don't know. maybe I won't be surprised if you see many of the players, they will play for the clubs in coming time. Maybe some of them will play for the country, because there is potential. There is potential, and their Kashmiri players, they are physically very good, and you know, all the foreign coaches, they love the players who are physically very well, and they give them the preference, you know. And from the north side, Punjab, Kashmir, we are naturally physically very good, and it is an added advantage for us. So if the work is done correctly, maybe for next 3 or 4 years, you will see a lot of players coming out of the state.
That sounds encouraging. 15 new academies. Where Mehraj, in the various districts, is it?
Yes, various districts, Siddharth, various districts, and we have actually uh, uh, today in the morning we had a meeting, and by Thursday we are going to finalize which are the districts we are going to call and launch our academies on, and on this Saturday we are going to launch 15 academies in Jammu and Kashmir. And it's not going to be, you know, like the professional academies in the beginning. Maybe, you know, we'll have the coaches, we'll have the kids, and we'll have all the equipments available there. But this is just the beginning, and we are doing it. It's just a small step. And maybe in coming time, when we want to start it from somewhere, so someone has to come and someone has to start. So we are just taking a step forward and starting something for the youth. And once we will start it, I think if if it is success, then maybe, I mean, next year it is more actually more good, and more academies will come and more players will come as well.
Said one of the thing is sorry Mehraj to cut you off. One of the thing is that we won't charge anyone. We will have coaches. We were trying to have a qualified coaches, and we will be paying coaches as well. So that is our. We want it at least to start. You know, like we won't have exactly because all the means, unfortunately, but we want to start from word go only as we want to you know, like put the professionalism there, put the word professionalism, bring those licensed coaches, pay them, and you know, like they can do whole day some other job, but at least morning and evenings we can help with them. So, and they will continue their passion to teach young kids, and they can do other job also. We are trying to involve or get engaged all the coaches who are not unfortunately having jobs also right now, or in districts. And because most of the coaches who have done coaching here in Kashmir have out of passion, not for the job and all that, but maybe some people thought they might get the job, but unfortunately none of the Kashmiris are getting jobs in here. So which is other part.
Fact.
But
Fact है भाई.
नहीं, also the
We are
जो
sitting quiet, but
जो
not
जो
want this
also
office to be attacked.
जो restructuring हुआ है in terms of the government, because a large number of jobs in the youth affairs and sports department were the jobs that were being given out, and now with the restructuring and Jammu and Kashmir becoming a union territory, all that is, I mean, I'm sure the government has its own set of priorities, and sport is not going to be like up top on that agenda. So what has been the impact? Because I was, of course, in and out of Kashmir 2017, 18, 19, and there was a lot of stuff going on the ground, whether it's through the State Football Academy, of course, also local level tournaments, night football had started. So you know, using it as a means to engage the youth as well, a means of entertainment as well, and of course, as हमारे एक professor साहब हैं, Terry Eagleton करके, जो कहते हैं कि फुटबॉल इज द न्यू ओपियम ऑफ द मासेस, कि जब और दुनिया भर में बेड़ा गर्क हो रहा है, तो लोगों को डिस्ट्रैक्ट करने के लिए कुछ ना कुछ तो चाहिए ना. नौकरी है नहीं, खाने के लिए है नहीं, लॉकडाउन चल रहा है, पबजी भी बैन कर दिया आपने,
टिकटॉक भी बैन कर दिया.
तो लोग बात करेंगे क्या? मतलब तो कुछ तो उनको हिट किसी चीज का तो देना पड़ता है. And then of course there are the issues of the insurgency and all of those things that are going on. So football and sport in general plays a I think very vital role in all of these processes coming together. I wanted to ask you guys how much of a, before we of course talk a bit more about some of the positives, uh, how much of a step back has it been in, because you had started all of these efforts. The state football academy had already had many centers. In fact, we were there when the first in intra Kashmir district level tournament for girls was happening. So that was a remarkable thing, because you had teams from Bandipora, from Leh all the way. Teams had traveled to Srinagar. From some Jammu team had come. So it was not just about the football, but also a chance for young people, young women from all these diverse communities to meet, to interact, to spend some time together, get to know each other's cultures as well.
Yes, Siddharth, you know what happened actually when we launched State Football Academy, and we wanted to run it in a professional way. So we wanted to, actually, I was the head of it, and we had a very good team. So we wanted to have one unit in every district. We had by then a state, and we had 22 districts. Now we are in UT, and we have only 20. Then we had 22 districts, and we wanted to make sure that we have a unit in every district. So
Right.
when we did it, and it took us time, it took us actually one and more than 1 year to to launch a unit in every district. But what actually we saw it when we worked with the boys, it was not the concept for us to involve the girls. So what we did is when we started working with the boys, and we actually saw some girls also coming, and they showing interest. We had a Sunday football school here for everyone comes and joins, and plays for fun in TRC ground. You may have seen it, and more than 300 400 kids used to come,
300
and a lot
400
of girls.
बच्चे and yeah.
हाँ 300 400 बच्चे आते थे उसमें, and a lot of girls also used to come. Then we thought of why not to work with the girls. Then what we started to work with the girls, and eventually we ended up making six
Yeah.
girls units also. For women, we started making six. We had six girls teams, and which I think which actually happened for the first time in the history of Kashmir, where we had six girls teams, eight girls teams, and you saw it how beautifully it was done. We had that inter academy tournament here, and where people from Ladakh, people from Jammu, Kutwa, they never used to come and play all with everyone all together. And we brought them here in AstroTurf. They played in the artificial grass, and it was a very good actually picnic for them.
Absolutely, yeah.
They actually enjoyed. They took the pictures, and we actually got a lot of talented players out of that.
Hmm.
At that intra-district tournament, we got some potential where we used them for the I League, and some of them now they are playing for the clubs in Jammu and Kashmir. So, which was a good idea, and I think now it is not happening in the way but how it started, because everyone when we started it we had money, so जोश भी था, पैसा भी था, so everyone was very interested. But then suddenly government change हो गई यहाँ पे. Then it was PDP. Now then the government changed it suddenly. The governor's rule came. Then उसके बाद क्या हुआ? Then funding में problem आ गई. Then actually we had coaches in every district. We used to pay the coaches. We used to pay the players, the refreshment to the players. Then क्या हुआ कि फंडिंग जब बंद हो गई तो कोचेस को पैसा नहीं मिला, प्लेयर्स को रिफ्रेशमेंट नहीं मिली. तो एक वक्त ऐसा आ गया, देन वो यूनिट्स बंद हो गए. लेकिन अभी भी हमारे पास कम से कम 6-7 ऐसे यूनिट्स है वो एक्टिव है. तो उन यूनिट्स में कौन काम कर रहा है? उन यूनिट्स में वही कोच काम कर रहे जो हमारे साथ थे, लेकिन उनको कोई पैसा भी नहीं मिल रहा है. दे आर डूइंग इट आउट ऑफ देयर पैशन. तो उनके पास पैशन है, दे कैप दोस यूनिट्स alive. The training is happening there. Now I heard yesterday in State Sports Council office, and they are going to engage 500 coaches. 500 coaches. ये मैंने कल देखा है. If this thing happens, and all the problems will be solved, because we'll have a lot of coaches down. Right now we don't have coaches.
मैंने भी सुना वो.
हाँ सुना है, but you know you don't trust.
कोचेस कहाँ है 500?
They want to engage someone, maybe all the physical trainers, maybe ex-players.
I am also working in the other department. They couldn't. They can't uh, extend my order from last 1 year, which is जहाँ पे मैं लटका हूँ, and now they are talking about 500.
Yes, which I saw, I actually said, which I saw in the paper. So ये होगा नहीं होगा, but it is happening. It is right now in the papers. लेकिन यहाँ से यहाँ पे सिद्धांत बहुत सारी बातें होती है, वो पेपर्स में होती है, बहुत सारी बातें वो टीवी में होती है, इंटरव्यूज में होती है, लेकिन एक्चुअली बाद में ऐसा कुछ होता नहीं है. They will suddenly say we'll make 10 astroturfs. They'll suddenly say we'll
हर
make
डिस्ट्रिक्ट में एक ग्राउंड बनाएंगे.
एक ग्राउंड बनाएंगे, right? And we know the Bakshi Stadium here. We had a very good stadium.
Yeah.
And ये
It is
इनको
still being renovated.
it
उसका
is
अभी भी
not
चल रहा है
been,
renovation.
इसका
अभी
अभी
भी चल
चल
रहा है.
रही है,
हाँ.
अभी भी चल रही है. And
हाँ.
if you see the condition of it, it looks, मुझे
It
लगता है
looks
कि
like a
वो
bomb tech. हाँ.
2-3 साल लगेंगे अभी उसको. So when it comes to government, सिद्धांत, गवर्नमेंट का काम पता है क्या है कि बहुत स्लोली होता है कभी-कभी, क्योंकि इसमें फाइल है, एक भी कभी ना कभी इसको कोई हर्डल आ गई ना तो उस पे इंक्वायरी बैठती है. तो इंक्वायरी जब तक सॉल्व नहीं होगी तो केस आगे बढ़ेगा नहीं, तो काम उधर का ही रुक जाता है. बट आई होप कि जो कुछ ये लोग कह रहे हैं वो सही से हो, तो आई थिंक स्पोर्ट्स को, ओवरऑल स्पोर्ट्स को फायदा मिलेगा. नहीं तो फिर नई गवर्नमेंट आएगी, फिर वो नई चीजें लाएगी और नई फिर से स्टार्ट जहां से वो अगेन, सो वो चीजें बहुत मुश्किल है.
And Siddhant, can I just sort of jump in? Ishfaq, you were saying something. Sorry, बोलिए आप. फिर मैं
I
बोलूंगा.
said हम लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं, लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम लोग खत्म नहीं कर पाते और चलता नहीं. हम लोग हर साल फिर से स्टार्ट करते हैं और गवर्नमेंट आती है, फिर से पहले स्टेट होती है, हम लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं, फिर यूटी बन जाती है, फिर से हम लोग अगेन स्टार्ट करते हैं. अब आज ही मैंने न्यूज पढ़ी, ग्रेटर कश्मीर में इतना बड़ा लिखा था कि वी विल गेट आवर स्टेटहुड बैक. लगता है फिर से स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा.
रिफ्रेश.
वही रिफ्रेश ही चलता रहेगा.
Go Sharda, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, no, I was just saying something that what you see in every place and in Kashmir, because of the situation politically, what has happened over the last 12 months, 15 months, जितना भी आप 20 साल कर लो, 25 साल कर लो, that the most important thing, I think, for footballers, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you need enough matches to play. You need to be playing enough events. हाँ, ग्राउंड आप जितने भी बनाए, अगर आप उसमें मैचेस नहीं खिलाओगे तो देन व्हाट ऑल दीज यंग पीपल एंड ऑल देयर एनर्जी, क्या होने वाला उसका, व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन टू इट. And that is where all these whatever the sport is, whoever the organizers are, that is what they don't do. They don't want to have matches because it's hard work, to have matches, to have tournaments, to have leagues. जैसे आप लोग कर रहे हो, it should have been done 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It would have you'd had more people from your state going out. I don't know, this is my thing, that there are not enough matches for people to play in any sport in the country. Outside of cricket, there are not enough matches for our kids to play.
Unfortunately, Sharda, this is not only for the Kashmir's problem, because I'm in technical committee of federation also.
Yes.
So it is.
It's a national problem.
It's a national problem. We will play I-League, but good thing that they are adding teams, so we might get more. But there is a very much need of we to have something like a league cup going on, where teams or the players, especially Indian players, are not only playing ISL, but like there was a in between that knockout tournament FSDL had started.
Yeah,
I think they have plan for that, which I hope there is a proper league cup where, क्योंकि हर एक country में एक league cup और league होता है. यहाँ पे भी federation cup होता था, but I hope, but at least in this pandemic, at least I'm happy कि ISL हो रहा है, and I'm glad अभी मैंने recently सुना it's happening, it's gonna start on time, which is even a good news. But like we criticize a lot also, and there are good things also. But one of the good thing in recent past, in this time and present also, is that second division was successful. Now ISL is happening. At least these ISL will be by far the biggest sporting event right now, which will happen after this pandemic. And I don't know why my test guy has not come yet. I am waiting to give my RT-PCR right now. So, but which is good, like at least that makes me feel happy and safer. Now, the bio-bubble square, which we are following here, is very strict, which they have done, the league have done very nicely organized. We have someone from the league who is staying 24 hours in same hotel. Like they make sure that everyone will do their tests on the time. And yes, रहा सवाल मैचेस में, आई थिंक फिलहाल ये गनीमत है, ये लीग मिल जाए इंडियन प्लेयर्स को, कम से कम एटलीस्ट दिस विल बी, होता है ना, मतलब something is better than nothing. In short, I will say.
Right, yes. मतलब तो इसी पे आई गेस पल रहे हैं हम सब काफी टाइम से, क्या जिंदगी भर समथिंग इज बेटर देन नथिंग, एंड अनफॉर्चुनेटली दैट दिस इज इनेविटेबली व्हाट हैपेंस, and one of our criticisms on a regular basis has been this also, Sharda. I mean, exactly what you're saying, that at the top level, so at the elite level, of course, while it's undoubtedly very important, because these boys who are playing, and hopefully the women's league will also happen, although the signs of that are not extremely encouraging. Even in the interview that Sunando gave to the AIFF channel, I think that is going to be pushed towards the end of the season, so maybe towards March and all that. But the fact is that these boys who are playing these leagues are professionals. They need to earn a livelihood. They have families to support. So it's not just a question of playing for passion and playing for the joy of the sport. It's also very much about putting food on the table. So it's a positive, no doubt, that that's happening. But वही बात होगी, जब तक आपका ग्रास रूट्स बेस नहीं बढ़ेगा, जब तक लोग ग्राउंड उस लेवल पे बच्चों को खेलने को नहीं मिलेगा, तो आपके एलीट लेवल पे खिलाड़ी कहाँ से बनेंगे? So it's वो chicken egg वाला situation.
And the pandemic almost becomes the bahana to not stage matches at the grassroots level. It's भाई we can't stage pandemic चल रहा है,
बिल्कुल.
You know, that also becomes like a
सबसे ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट उन्हीं पे पड़ेगा,
and what you can see in that
level league,
group,
I league, sorry, go on.
In the Jammu, in that my WhatsApp group tells me that in Jammu and Kashmir they found ways to at least train these kids. So kids come up and they're training, they do their bit, they do, at least it's there. But I don't know what's happening elsewhere. I have no idea.
Yeah,
Not
I
that
mean,
I'm in all WhatsApp groups, but
no, fair enough. I guess also state associations, district level associations, former players, academies, everyone has to get in on the act and do things at whatever level they can. Because if you're waiting for things to come from the top, it's never going to happen. Unfortunately, they've already announced that the youth leagues are not going to take place this season at all. Even though there have been studies and all of that has been done to indicate that children are less susceptible to all of this. So if anything, you should start opening things up for kids, for at school level and all of that. But हमारा approach हमेशा से top down रहा है, और उसी पे हम लगे हुए हैं, because I guess that's where the big television bucks or whatever it is. So क्या कर सकते हैं? Anyway, just quick update before we move on to. By the way, Mehraj, this is welcome to our Sunday afternoon conversations, brother.
Thank you so much.
ये शुरू होता है एक जगह से और फिर चलता रहता है बस.
Right.
तो I hope खाना वाना खा के आए.
खाना खा के आया हूँ मैं.
मुझे लगता है इधर ही खाना पड़ेगा आज यार.
आप शुरू हो जाओ भाई. We are hoping that आपका टेस्ट भी लाइव हो, ताकि जो
हम लोग भी देख सके. हाँ,
जो हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए देखे तो सही कि होता क्या है भाई ये टेस्ट में. हाँ,
वे टेस्ट करते हैं और क्या करते हैं.
ठीक है. So no, so quick update on.
I'll go in 5 minutes because I had that other thing I had to go to.
Yes, absolutely.
Give a quick update.
No, you go on. I just if you have any questions, we can once you leave we can carry on. So if you have any questions to ask these guys.
So we had an agenda of Mohammedan also coming in.
So just before I was going to sort of segue into that by asking for a quick update on what's happening with Real Kashmir, because they are in the I League and that is a Kashmiri club.
Let Sharda ask first if she had any Indian football questions or anything also.
That is, I'm just tuning in with full attention and waiting for all your wisdom to tell me exactly what's going on. I'm following the East Bengal story thoda. But Real Kashmir, what is the situation? I know they started women's team, at least the announcement came. Where are those girls going to play? Those are the questions that I normally had.
I am in touch with the, I think Mehraj also, we both have met Sandeep, who is their owner right now, and I am in touch on and off with him and all that. I think they tie up with Delhi Public School for the ground, and which is a bit secure, like place for girls to
Yeah.
play and all that.
Yeah.
And I think they have a big ground if they maintain and that natural grass ground. And I give a lot of credit to as the owner also for taking such step and having a like it's a professional team, having their women's football team also now, and then training regularly, and a lot of credit goes grassroots work done by their youth development head Ijaz, who does a lot of work not only for the main senior team but for the age groups also. And I think he has been tremendous over the years, finding youth and then providing them a platform to play, whether it's men or male or female now. I think that's a good step. And as far as their senior team is concerned, that they are they same coach is going to continue. Some of the players have been retained. They have got new players also. I think they are looking for one more striker. They might have added that also, and they are ready to go for the I League, which is most probably going to happen again in Kolkata only.
Yeah.
And they have added a lot of Kashmiri local players this season, which is a good news in their Indian squad. I think that's what they have done. I met Mehraj also. I met him personally, which he clearly said this time I want to give because we were not happy
Last year.
previously. Yeah, only one or two Kashmiri guys were playing despite having talent, and like somewhere uh, they have to believe Kashmiri youth also and bring them. And there are two or three guys who came with me in Kerala Blasters. I gave him the example. If they came to Kerala Blaster, why can't they play in real Kashmir?
Absolutely.
So I think he was kind enough to realize that, and I think they have added up like some good local talented players, and it gives like returns also when you have not unfortunate this season. When next season you will have home teams, fans will feel more for
Yeah.
team. They will feel it as its own. I'm not saying they are not accepting other players from state. They last year also, when hardly any Kashmiri were playing, they came in numbers and supported the team. But once the more Kashmiri youth talented players will play there, then you have a ready-made role models for the coming generation, who can see them playing lively and all that. And then we don't have to find role models. Mehraj, me, Parvez, we can't be role models forever. The people like Danish, Farhan, Asrar, the other guys, they have to come, like they are our good young players now. They have to come and perform. Maybe if they are in, all the three of them will join the Real Kashmir this season. And that is how you produce players. Once younger generation will see their role models playing in front of, and that's how I became a footballer. When a former international, one of the player was my next door neighbor, and I used to play him, and that's how I got the interest to play in football. So I think that's a good thing they are doing, and I wish them all the best. And hopefully, like this season, they will play better football also.
Fair enough. Thank you for that update, guys, and thank you very much, Sharda, for taking the time out.
Thank you. I wish I could stay for longer. If I'd known, I would have cleared the full, 3 p.m. thing also. I promise.
No, that's my fault.
I
totally
will
my
listen
fault.
to the entire thing when it's loaded, and I'm sure I'll be better informed. Thanks, Ishfaq and Mehraj. Good to
Thank
chat with you.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Siddhant.
Sharda. Thank you,
Thank.
Sharda.
Anytime,
Thank you.
anytime, Shada. Next Sunday, if you're next Sunday 2 p.m.
Okay, okay,
We are always here. Never.
okay, okay. All right.
Or
Thanks.
anytime between 2 and 5 that you want to just pop by.
Okay, drop in. Yeah.
Yeah, drop in.
The meeting ID is the same. ठीक है. Okay.
नहीं मीटिंग आईडी आपको भेज देंगे कोई
अच्छा ठीक है ठीक है. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
ठीक है थैंक
Bye.
यू बाय
Bye. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
bye,
Bye.
bye, Sharda. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
So yes, on that note, I think let's shift focus a little bit towards the latest entrant into the I League, which is of course Mohammedan Sporting, a club both of you have played for. What did you guys make of their of course एक game बचा है, but वो game more or less now is of academic interest only, uh, because the title has been decided and Mohammedan went in as favorites and I think they got the job done pretty well, Mehraj.
Yes, I think they played well and they were the favorites from the beginning. They had a very good squad. And if you see the squad, it is very much experienced. They have got good players. And it was very unfortunate to see they sacked the coach after 2 games.
Yeah.
And, and, and they won the game,
I
which
was
was very
eating
crucial
almost. I
because
spelled everything out when you said that.
which is very rarely happening in Indian football. You get someone on board and you give him 2 games and you sack him suddenly, and you play a game which is very crucial to you without a coach.
Yeah.
So it was very, I think, uh, kind of tricky for them because they had to win it. And sometimes when you sack a coach in the middle of the season, it makes it disturbs the entire squad. And a lot of players they start gossiping and uh, what is happening in the club, or what is this, what is that. Maybe some of the players they are coach's favorite and they don't want to play in under the new coach.
Yeah.
Some
And
things
also,
like stuff.
also जब भी नया कोच आता है तो उसके दिमाग में कुछ अलग ही होता है ना करने का.
Yes, but fortunately they didn't bring the new coach on board. They had the assistant coach who was there with the
Yeah.
team,
Yeah.
and I think he took the charge. And maybe
Yeah.
the manager and maybe Dipendu, he is also the ex-player and he's the technical director or something there. He has got some experience. Somehow they managed and they won the game and they are through for the I League 2020 now. And I think it's a great achievement for them. After 7 years, they are playing in I League. But I would say now, if they want to survive, if they have to survive in I League and they want to play in ISL, they'll have to change certain things in club, obviously, because they cannot be the same what they were before. Now everything is changing in every club. Football is changing, the mindset is changing. Now they need more professionals in the club. Maybe more in the management now, because it's all about management skills. How do they manage the team now? They need an experienced coach also, who has got the experience and who is well educated. And in every department, I think they need every professional player now. I mean, every professional man who can handle the things. They cannot be the same manager cannot be the coach of the team.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, and there should not be someone who can be the president of the team and who can actually tell you who to play on the game day. So now things has to be changed there, and I hope that they will realize it, because
भैया
this is
भैया
the
वो सब चेंज नहीं होने वाला है.
I hope. I'm sure. See, now the management is new. Management is new. They have got some young guys in the management, and I hope, and they have got the investor also now. There is no problem, no money issue. I'm sure there is no money issue at the moment. And if they sit and they think uh, what is happening around the football in India, and maybe they will they'll build a good squad, and maybe they'll be one of the teams who will bid for the ISL in next season, because Mohammedan has got a good fan base. Because Ishfaq and me, we played there, and you have seen how many people they came and watched that IFA Shield
IFA
final.
Shield,
Yeah, we won, and against Dhanmondi club, and that was the first time I have seen so many, so many of people come to watch the game. And you don't believe, when we won that IFA Shield, Ishfaq and me, we went to the football tournaments. We went to inaugurations, Ishfaq and me, for next 1 month. And in my house, I did not cook the food for 1 month because every time I used to go to attend some function, I used to get a lot of biryani from there. So वो सब they are very well. I mean, they love
Mehraj,
football. Mom,
Mehraj, what this fans के साथ तो मतलब they are superb. They treated. I still remember. I told मैंने इनको last time पे बोला था मेरा AC किसी ने दिया था, set top box किसी ने दिया था जब when I was staying at.
I know. My cable connection was free.
So there is nothing wrong with the fans, but those fans deserve at least something better, ना? तो
Yes.
तो I totally agree जो मेहराज ने कहा. भाई सबको काम है. अगर मैं जनरल मैनेजर हूँ या मैनेजर हूँ, मेरा मैनेजमेंट का काम है, या फिर जो मैस्यो है, फिजियो है, उनको अपना काम है. फिजियो या डॉक्टर है, उनका मेडिकल डिपार्टमेंट देखना है. ऐसे ही कोच जो होता है उसको प्लेयर रिलेटेड देखना है और क्या स्टाइल खेलेगा, कौन प्लेयर अच्छा है, कोच की स्ट्रेटेजी. फिर उसने बेचारे ने ए लाइसेंस या इतनी मेहनत की है, कोच क्यों बना है? जब आप उसको बोलोगे कि कौन प्लेयर खिलाना है, कौन नहीं खिलाना है, फिर वो बेचारे कोच का क्या फायदा? बट we don't want to get in that. There are a lot of issues. Mohammedan right now, I recently heard are saying something else, but we have not heard about Yan yet. But जो भी है, as Mehraj rightly said, they deserved this play. They played. They had a good team. They are lucky. They won the last match without coach. Sometimes उल्टा effect भी होता है, coach sack हुआ है और हार बार जाते तो बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है. और क्या होता है कि कोई ब्लेम करने के लिए भी नहीं था, खुद को ही ब्लेम करना था. बट आई एम ग्लैड उन्होंने जीता. और वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट क्लब इन कोलकाता, तो आई लीग में आएंगे. उम्मीद करते हैं एक अच्छा कोच रखे वो लोग, और मैनेजमेंट भी मैनेजमेंट वाला काम करे, कोच को कोच वाला काम करने दो, अच्छे प्लेयर्स आए, वो कोटा सिस्टम खत्म हो. वो इसको लाना है, वो ऑफिशियल बोलेगा नहीं इसको लाना है. ऐसा नहीं बोल रहा कि ऑफिशियल गलत प्लेयर आ रहे हैं, लेकिन कोच को टीम बनाने का हक होता है, क्योंकि उसको पता है कि कैसा टीम खिलाना है. आई वंस अगेन विश देम ऑल द बेस्ट. कांग्रेचुलेशन, दे डिजर्व. क्योंकि सबसे ज्यादा उनके फैंस जो हर जगह है, नॉट ओनली कोलकाता, दे डिजर्व दिस. और अभी तो आईएसएल जाने का वो सीडी भी मिल गया है ऑलरेडी. आईएसएल लीग कमेटी हैव डिसाइडेड फ्रॉम लास्ट ईयर ओनली, जब उन्होंने प्लेयर्स के बारे में डिसाइड किया था, एएफसी रूल यूज करेंगे 4+3+1. वहां पे उन्होंने बोला है आगे जाके हम लोग प्रमोशन रेलीगेशन भी है. तो एक वे भी बन रहा है, एक टारगेट है अब कि आपको आई लीग आप प्रॉपर चैनल से आ सकते हो, which is a fantastic thing for Indian football. और अभी मोहम्मदन, अभी जो ये 2-4 टीमें हैं लीग में, आई लीग में, if they can manage to make a good team and bring good coaches, मुझे लगता है कि there's a good chance that we will see जब भी ये relegation promotion start होगा, one more big team coming in for ISL.
ये तो है ही बिल्कुल, बिकॉज अब जब आईएसएल टॉप डिवीजन बनी गया है, सो ऑल द बिग क्लब्स विल हैव द एम्बिशन ऑफ प्लेइंग इन दैट. इवन द न्यू दिल्ली क्लब, इन फैक्ट सुदेवा, व्हिच you know is the only club from that massive football market that is Delhi, playing in the I League. Even they have ambitions of making it to the ISL in the future once promotion and relegation opens up. And that then opens up, I guess, some commercial opportunities, the interaction between the wider marketplace and the football club. It allows communities to be built, all of those things. A bigger platform for players to play on, more role models, and उसी से फिर पूरा system, I guess, gets a bit catalyzed. But this whole situation was a bit bizarre, I think, and I don't know if you guys have seen it before, but in public, जो लंबी चौड़ी चिट्ठी जो क्लब से आई, जिसमें उन्होंने चिट्ठी में लिखा है कि ये कोच अपने हिसाब से टीम बना रहा था और अपने प्लेयर्स खिला रहा था. मतलब I don't know how you guys see it, But generally, isn't that's pretty much what a coach is supposed to do? Is this a Calcutta scene, basically?
No, they have to change, Siddharth. Siddharth, they have to change, and it was happening before also,
Huh.
where management, they used to come and they used to talk to the coach and tell him, okay, आज ये खेलेगा, आज वो खेलेगा. And I think in few clubs, East Bengal, Mohammedan, they have changed it now. They are more professionals and they leave everything on the coach. And I think, as I said in the beginning also, मैंने बताया कि ये सब चीजें अभी मोहम्मदन में चेंज होने वाली है, होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर उनको आगे देखना है, they have to give authority to the coach. अगर कोच है, जैसे इशफाक ने भी बताया, कोच है, अगर उसने ए लाइसेंस किया है तो उसने क्या करके ए लाइसेंस किया है, because he has knowledge of the game.
बिल्कुल.
So if I am the coach, I have played, I have got a license, now I know how to build the team.
Yeah.
Now in case if you have some suggestions, you come and you speak to me.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
हमारे पास ये suggestion, but you don't force me to go and play in a different system and play someone who I don't think is will fit in my system.
Absolutely.
So that is totally unfair, and which I think some of them Mohammedan sporting officials, they will also realize it. This is not good, because football, at the end of the day, it is the players, the coach, and the management, which everyone has to work together. Management, they have to do their own job. Coach has to do their own job. Players have to do their own job. So if someone from the management will become the coach and the coach will become the manager and the players will become the coach, then सब कुछ खराब हो जाता है and you don't get the result.
बिल्कुल सही बात है. But anyway, fortunately, this was a short tournament and they did manage to get the results. And we had Yan Law, in fact, on the show a week before the tournament started, talking about all of these positive things that are happening at Mohammedan Sporting in terms of the young management, the secretary Wasim, all of these people who are football people, genuinely interested in the sport.
Yes.
And they're coming in from that perspective. He also said that all of the players that he wanted for the I-League qualifiers, he managed to sign those players. So there were no issues. The club was willing to spend money on players and things like that. Then you had news of the investors coming in, the new kit launch. So there was a lot of positivity, a lot of positive stories coming out of Mohammedan Sporting, and then boom, suddenly.
उसी पॉजिटिव जो इन्होंने चीजें की है पहले, उसी की वजह से they won 3 matches. They got, because coach ने काम किया एक month के लिए, they got all the 9 points.
Everything was in place. Yeah, बिल्कुल.
And especially for this, they should have no hope of good football or bad football. What mattered in this kind of tournament is 3 points. So 3 points, अगर कोच ने आपको क्वालिफाई कर रहा है, that's what matters. और उनकी परफॉर्मेंस वही होती है. और उसने 2 मैच जिताए, लेकिन what exactly हुआ और क्या हुआ उनके बीच, God only knows. But as महराज ने rightly बोला कि वो चीजें चेंज करनी है अगर आपको आगे जाके परफॉर्म करना है, आई लीग जीतना है, या फिर you want to become a force, like where everybody respects you and recognizes you. लेकिन अगर आप ऐसा करोगे, जैसे महराज ने कहा, कलकत्ता कुछ था ऐसा ट्रेडिशन में ही, वहां पे फुटबॉल में ऑफिशियल्स यूज्ड टू गेट इन्वॉल्व, व्हिच इज सबको पता है, वो कोई हिडन स्टोरी नहीं है ये, और सबको पता है, ऑफिशियल्स को खुद भी पता है.
बिल्कुल.
और Mohan Bagan is an example. They have done previously under Kibu very well. They gave him a team and told him, do whatever you want to do. It's your team and we want the results. Simple as that. And management should ask for the result. There is no problem in that. But at least अगर आप किसी को बोल रहे हो भाई मुझे रिजल्ट है, कोच को लेके आए हो, उसको लेके आए तो उसको काम करने दो ना, या फिर किसी ऐसे को ले, आप उसको काम करने के लिए, लेकिन काम इनडायरेक्टली आप ही कर रहे हो. आपका फेलियर उसका फेलियर, उसकी सक्सेस आपकी सक्सेस, which is not fair. So these two clubs, and hopefully Mohammedan will, as Mehraj ने कहा कि दीपू भाई is their technical director, फुटबॉलिंग में तो वो संभालेगा, बट अभी जो यंग मैनेजमेंट आए हैं, वसीम साहब आए हैं, तो होपफुली ही अंडरस्टैंड्स दिस कि भाई फुटबॉलिंग पार्ट let's leave it to the technical director and the coach and all for them. एंड आप देखो, आप जो स्पॉन्सर आए उनके साथ आप टर्म्स अच्छे रखो, होपफुली उनको कन्विंस करो, हम लोग भी आईएसएल में जाए। आई लीग का वेट मत करो, आप भी आ जाओ, हम लोग तो खुशी होंगे। मोहम्मदन, ईस्ट बंगाल और मोहन बगान आएंगे तो और ज्यादा मजा आएगा।
And so, in terms of what happened on the pitch, not just Mohammedan, of course, overall, if you look at it, any players that stood out for you guys, any performances that you want to talk about particularly?
मैंने I think
any of the players you think are good enough to play in the ISL, for example?
There are that Ghani Ahmed from Hyderabad, the only which I think Mehraj might be knowing. He did pretty okay in Mohammedan, and I think maybe he has the experience. Last year playing for Hyderabad. There were some good players also, but yes, foreigners made a huge difference, especially for Bhawanipur. I think Shilton had a good tournament again with his experience and all that. And overall, there are talent, but I think they need maybe more matches. Maybe the I-League now for the Mohammedan players, there are like some good players. Azharuddin Malik was good.
Yeah,
I felt he did good. Bangalore overall they look more comfortable with the ball. Some of their players did quite well. You know, that was good and pleasing to see कि they played a good football. Bangalore. अभी नया टीम है, अचानक से एक ही बार कभी-कभी होता है नहीं, कभी-कभी लक होता है, पहली बार क्वालिफाई होते हैं. But they have Richard has now more time in hand. Think over कहाँ पे गए, मुझे लगा कि up front their
थोड़ा firepower lacking था.
Yeah, firepower was lacking. You see that same team you see the Bhawanipur.
I mean, if they had, if Arja was playing at Bangalore United, I think we would have had a very different scenario.
Yes. Mehraj is telling he has a game or something like that. कौन सी game है भाई?
Mehraj lucky है.
I am playing semi-final today in Islamia College. Ishfaq knows it. So my team is playing semi-final in that tournament, downtown football Gold Cup.
His opponent coach is his cousin brother.
Yeah, he's my brother. He has put a poster on the social media. Big brother versus small brother.
Are you coaching?
I'm coaching. No, I am coaching the team. Actually, I am looking. I'm the head of this state football academy, and I'm looking from the top. So I'm going to watch the game today.
Fair enough. Yeah. We'll let you go in. Do you have 2 minutes? We'll just take
yes.
2-3 minutes. We'll just take some comments because there's quite a few people who have tuned in to watch this live, and of course, सबसे पहले तो काफी सारा आप दोनों के लिए प्यार उभर के आ रहा है हमारे कमेंट्स पे. काफी सारे लोग सलाम कह रहे हैं. नवतेज वत्स,
वो तो पंडित जी और रेंडी भाई को मिस कर रहा है.
हाँ, वो तो है ही. पंडित जी जब आते हैं तो उनका सारा क्या कहते हैं जो फैन बेस उन्होंने बना रखा है ना, सब जागृत हो जाता है.
नागिन डांस उनके आगे करते हैं ना.
हाँ, अनफॉर्चुनेटली हमारे बस की बात नहीं है वो सब. अर्का प्रभा भाव में किस इशफाक भाई का विंग का रन मिस कर रहा है. तो अभी नए विंगर्स आएंगे, उनके रन्स के लिए वेट करेंगे हम, आई गेस. Pandit, unfortunately, guys, for all those of you who are asking, Pandit is busy with the IPL. There's a double header today, being Sunday. Navtej, we are also missing Pandit and Renedy, no doubt. But I think क्या करें अब, हम second stringers के साथ ही खुश रहना पड़ेगा लोगों के. क्या और क्या कह सकते हैं. ये बड़े लोग हैं ना, तो वो आएंगे अब जब उनके पास टाइम हो. Chinmay Shekhar is saying hi Wadoo sir.
Thank you. Hi,
Nice to
Chinmay.
see Sharda as well. Why league structure is not in place and J&K, Saurav Haldar is asking. We talked a bit about that, and I think if Mehraj unfortunately has to go, otherwise we can keep talking about that. But it's a complicated scenario, I think, guys. You want to take that question a little bit quickly on the league structure and what's happening on the league front?
So this year the league is not happening there in Jammu and Kashmir because of the COVID-19, and they are still Jammu and Kashmir Football Association is still trying to get the permission from the government authorities to conduct the league. But there has been a league in Jammu and Kashmir from many years, which is happening, and I think 10 teams, the 10 teams, the only top teams they are playing there, and very unfortunately they are not getting many games. The top best team in our state, Jammu and Kashmir Bank, which is one of the best teams in our UT now, has played 8 games only in one season. So, which is very unfortunate. And if we keep discussing about it, it's going to take a long time. But I'm praying, and we are trying that the structure of the league changes in here, and we have more matches to play. We have more teams to come and play, and at the same time, there is a league for the youth also, which has not been there till now, and we are actually NIF through NIF. We were supposed to do it if this COVID was not happened. Then maybe from next year, as NIF, National and International Football's Forum, we are conducting a youth league for the especially for the youth, maybe 18, 15, and 13, where all the youth players will play, and hoping that Jammu and Kashmir Football Association will also work, not only work with the seniors, they will work also on the youth as well.
On the youth as well.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah.
Fair enough. That's a good one. Mohan Bagan fans, Sandeep Sarkar is saying, become crazy today because of I League trophy coming home. That's a story that we have heard. We've also heard that the bridge will be lit up in Mohan Bagan colors. Not much to cover there, guys. The I League was over a while ago. I think we've talked about it at length on many occasions. अच्छी बात है, ट्रॉफी आ रही है उनके पास, लेकिन हमारी लीग को तो छोड़ के चले गए वो लोग. कोई बात नहीं, अगले साल नया
Uh,
नया चैंपियन होगा. And the good news is that there is at least one Calcutta club in.
Let Mehraj go first.
हाँ ठीक है, बस दो चार ये मैं और कमेंट्स ले लेता हूँ भाई. एक आदित्य नारायण करके दोस्त हैं हमारे साथ, जो बहुत सारा आपको मतलब पूरे चैट में लव यू महराजुद्दीन वाडू करके स्पैम कर रहे हैं. तो
लड़का की लड़की है?
हाँ, आदित्य नारायण भाई नाम से तो लड़का ही लग रहा है.
हाँ ठीक है
फिर ठीक है ना. नो डेंजर. द क्या कहते हैं, बॉय लव इज गुड.
There is a question where, Ishfaq sir, how would you rate Killer 88 Snake पूछ रहा है this year's ISL teams as compared to previous year. Also, how do you see KFC compared to the well, Killer साहब, unfortunately ये जो planning हुई this season काफी मुश्किल रही, क्योंकि काम उतना मतलब हो नहीं पा रहा था, और सब लोग पहले अपनी सेफ्टी के लिए वरीड थे. But as compare, if you talk about KBFC, we have a very young squad which has like a lot of young Indian talent, like top Indian talent, and some of the really high profile foreign players are coming, player like Hooper, which we have already, and a player like Costa who played almost 8-10 years in Danish club Sparta Prague, and he was the captain of that team. And there are like more good news is on the way. Good profiles are coming as foreign players. But yes, that little bit of that preparation has not up to the mark like how we wanted because of this COVID. And it's not only for us, it's for everyone. So preseason is a little bit hampered. Indian players are here, and foreigners are still coming. So उसकी वजह से थोड़ी बहुत balance नहीं है, but overall good, and hopefully we will all have a good tournament.
Fair enough. Mehraj, I think on that note, we might as well let you leave, yeah, because there are a lot of comments and questions. We'll keep
I
taking.
am on my toes.
Yeah, fair enough. Thanks so much for taking the time out. You
Thank
take
you,
care.
Siddharth.
All the best
Thank
for
you.
the tournament and keep us
Thank you,
updated.
Ishfaq. Thank you, Siddharth. See you, brother, soon. See you. Take care.
Hello, all the
Bye,
best,
bye.
Mehraj. All the best. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye, bye.
इशफाक, आप हैं अभी हमारे साथ?
मैं
थोड़े
देखता हूँ
दिन?
शायद टेस्ट वाले हैं। मैं हूँ, आप क्वेश्चन लीजिए, मुझे
ठीक
आप
है,
याद रखिए, मैं एक बार आ
मैं
रहा
तब तक कमेंट्स लेता हूँ, 2-4 और कमेंट्स लेता हूँ, guys.
आया किधर है?
Don't say I don't look at the comments, guys. It's a bit challenging, multitasking. Sorry, thoda it's not my biggest strength. We will have Mehraj back again on the show. So those of you, the young monk, you're asking about that IFA Shield final versus Dhanmondi. We can have that conversation on another chat. Perhaps, unfortunately, we were meant to have 2 topics today, guys. Bhatke vatke nahi hai hum itna, because we had with us the 2, I suppose, men who have been the faces of football in Kashmir for the past, like this.
Any, you have to give me 2 minutes. I'm going for my test.
Yeah, sure. So Ishfaq is in fact taking a break to get his next COVID test done as per the protocol. I will see if I can mute him in the meantime while I keep taking some of your comments. Pavneet, Penny, great work. Thank you so much, man. It's I guess the support that you guys give us is what a lot of this keeps going on. Everyone who's saying hello, I'm not going to take all of your names. Mohammed Jasil is asking about an episode on Kashmir football. And in fact, NewsClick, we have, and 420 grams, we have been to Kashmir on multiple occasions, covering not just the news and the politics, but also what has been happening on football. And this is a new channel, of course. You can check it out. There's an entire 420 grams playlist which includes stories that we've done in Kashmir, from Kashmir, all of that. Aryanshi, if you're still around, you can maybe post a link to that NewsClick playlist, and we will, in the course of the next couple of days, upload some of those videos on this channel as well, for you guys to I mean, they're old stories, of course. We haven't been in some time, and like these guys are saying, there hasn't been much football going on as well because of the situation on the ground in Kashmir after the abrogation of Article 370, as well as now the pandemic, all of these things going on. So nothing much has been happening on the ground, unfortunately. But now things are restarting, and I think we will also make our way to Kashmir, to Jammu and Kashmir, and get you updates, not just from there actually, but like we have been doing in the past, from various pockets where football is played widely and is popular. So we'll do all that. Mohammed Jasil is asking, Ishfaq, are there any footballers from Jammu that you know?
There are few good guys. They are young players. Because Arun is taking care of the Jammu side from NIF National. There was one in with the TFA also, Thapa, and he's from Jammu. He's a good player, and Jammu. Usually, I have like now, but going by here, earlier we used to go by road via Jammu only and used to stay there. But now I have not seen of late visited there or seen players there. But Jammu always plays better technical player than Kashmir, and Arun is looking after. Arun was telling me he will give me a name of some of the players we need to watch out for. So yes, we will have some players from Jammu also.
Fair enough. Another question for you, Ishfaq, since you're the only one here to take questions now. Aditya Vijay Kumar is asking, any other clubs from Kashmir to follow in the footsteps of Real Kashmir and Lone Star at the national level?
Yes, there are plans. There is one of the oldest club there, Netball Sports Club, which where I have played, where Mehraj have played, and they're gonna I guess they have a dream to play second division I League this season, and let's see. Sorry, you have to give me one more.
Yeah, no problem.
Somebody's on the door. You.
Right, guys. Anything else that is there in the comments? I'm sorry. Like I said, multitasking is not really my forte.
Yes, tell me now. Sorry. What question?
Killer 88 Snake is asking, what are your thoughts on Mohammedan? I think if you've been listening actually, and this video will be up again once the live is done. We had a long chat about the coach and all of that. Ishfaq has given his views at length about what the role of the coach should be and what the role of management should be. So just go back and check that bit out if you're interested to know more about the Mohammedan sporting story. We've tried to be in touch with Yan. No doubt it's not an easy time for him. Ishfaq, because this is something that maybe you can comment a little bit on. Being a coach is a little bit like living on a volcano, isn't it? आपको कभी पता नहीं होता है कब ये ज्वालामुखी फटेगा और आपकी नौकरी जाएगी. और इनफैक्ट समटाइम्स फैंस के तौर पे भी अगर हम देखें तो हम इतने डिटैच्ड हो जाते हैं, हम ये सोचना ही भूल जाते हैं कि किसी की नौकरी के बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं. जैसे मैं और बहुत कम जगह होता है ऐसा कि आपने लीग शुरू किया है, आप एक मैच खेल रहे हैं और फैंस के फोन आ रहे हैं रेडियो पे, या जो जैसे प्रीमियर लीग में जो टॉक शो लाइव चैट शोज होते हैं, एक मैच के बाद बोलते हैं यार निकालो कोच को. मतलब हम बिल्कुल भूल ही जाते हैं कि ये दिस इज अ प्रोफेशनल who is doing a job. And what is that pressure like a little bit, if you can give us an insight maybe into what Yan is going through so soon after being appointed.
It's really unfortunate, coach ka job hamesha on the line hota hai. If players won't perform, then still coach will get sacked. If players do misbehave or anything and all that, then still coach will be blamed because he has not. But in professional team, people don't understand how coach is a professional. I know he has to managing skill, he has to, but so as players also, their responsibilities are there also. They are professional. They are getting mainly, they are getting definitely paid more than coaches and all that. So there has to be some responsibility from the player side also. This comes from a former player only. I say they have to be cooperative, and the most important thing is management. Management has to or should give time to coaches, especially when you sign a new coach. There is no magic trick or anything that by naya coach आया और हम लोग सभी मैच जीते और हम लोग चैंपियन बनेंगे. You have to give him. It's a slow process, and especially if he's a good coach, he will take time because his philosophy to then it depends upon the players how quickly they will adopt his philosophy. And then if you once he gets a full term at least of a season, then you can assess, call coach and talk to him what went wrong. Maybe there was shortcomings from management, not from coach. Sometimes if you don't pay on time, management side, players don't feel happy and all that. So whose mistake is that then? Sorry. Then whose mistake is that then? Yeah. It's not coach's mistake. And all those things do count. And I think the best way, give him a full season. And then with your technical director, come and talk about it and talk to coach and see what went wrong and what they need. Do they need more players or whatever? It's unfortunate coaches get sacked quickly. It's not just I'm now coach and I'm saying, but same goes the young, whatever. They should have waited and maybe after that match and take a decision. But it's okay. We are ready as a professional. You are ready for all those things, and we tell ourselves, okay, let's go out there, be positive and perform.
Yeah. And it's all the more, I suppose, difficult to understand in a scenario where you're winning. You know, your team is doing all right. You're winning games. You're getting the results, and even then, something like this happens. So that makes it a little bit harder to even understand.
True.
I'll go back now to the comments and see if there's anything more. Meantime, guys, please do once again spread the word about the new YouTube channel. We will, of course, be putting these videos up on the original NewsClick channel as well. For those of you who are subscribing there and keep following that channel, so you'll get updates on both at least for a while until we can figure out. Also, if anyone has any ideas or thoughts or some third-party software that allows us to stream live on two YouTube channels at the same time, that would be absolutely amazing, because I have so far been unable to find any such third parties. You can stream to Facebook and YouTube simultaneously, but I haven't been able to find anything that allows us to stream to two YouTube channels at the same time, because then we will be able to, of course, go live on both those both our channels. जॉन जस्टिन इज आस्किंग बख्शी स्टेडियम स्टेटस. भाई ऐसा करें, आप ये पूरा 1.5 घंटे का चैट सुने, उसमें बीच में हमने बात की है बख्शी स्टेडियम के बारे में, बट संक्षिप्त में अगर आपको बताएं कि कुछ अपडेट है नहीं.
कुछ है नहीं, तैयार होने वाला है, कब होगा ये पता नहीं.
सब उम्मीद पे कायम. शुभजीत कुमार, what is the actual infrastructure of real Kashmir? Bhai, you want to take that question?
What exactly he meant by that?
I think actual infrastructure in the sense, what is the kind of club structure? Do they have a ground? Do they have
they don't have the ground.
Academy for training facility, anything like that?
They have all that. They are using the all government facilities, and they have their girls team. They have their two, I think, age group, which is under 18 and under 15, and planning of under 13 as well. And as we already discussed, they launched girls team also, and which is training in a separate ground and DPS school. So yes, hopefully in future they will have their own ground which they are planning to.
Fair enough. I think that pretty much wraps up most of our question and answers in the comments that were going on. Before we end, Ishfaq, this afternoon's chit chat, any last thoughts on the qualifiers? Of course, there's one round of games left. Bangalore United will play Mohammedan Sporting tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. and at the same time, I think it's Ara versus Bhawanipur. These are the last fixtures which we will not be coming to you most likely as live, because these are now game. एक तो the games are happening simultaneously और हमारी जो man power है वो थोड़ी क्या कहते हैं busy हो गए हैं लोग. Ishfaq will have training, so will Renedy, but we will try to join you for a maybe a wrap after those games happen, a quick bit. But essentially, this is our kind of review of the entire tournament. So your last word, Ishfaq, on how the tournament has gone, both from what you saw on the pitch as well as from an organizational perspective, and all of that.
I honestly congratulate All India Football Federation. Like successfully. Hopefully tomorrow nothing goes wrong and everything finishes well, nicely. Mohammedan team has confirmed their berth in I-League, which is fantastic. I congratulate Sunindo. This is a wonderful thing. The first time they started in this country some sporting event and did it brilliantly, except that one case, which is still very normal. The amount of cases we are getting in India. So that is a great thing. I think great job. Teams have done well. They followed the protocols and everything. We have seen some good football actually from Bangalore, one of the teams who played really good football, and which was very encouraging for all of us. I was happy to see some teams are playing a proper football. And Mohammedan, they had a good firepower up front and overall good team. And deservingly, they won all the 3 matches and qualified, which is good thing. I wish them all the best and way to go. Like Indian football have led the show after pandemic, which is a good thing, which is a great news for Indian football.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. IPL वालों को तो भाग के कहीं और जाना पड़ा because I think उनके बस की है नहीं, वो बेचारे थोड़े स्पॉइल्ड टाइप के हैं, तो इंडियन कंडीशंस झेल नहीं पाते वो लोग बबल वगैरह में, उनके बस की नहीं होती. तो so yeah, absolutely football and no, it's of course the most popular sport in the world, so no surprises there in terms of the lead that has been taken. Yeah, so congratulations to Sunando on that front, and hopefully the I League as well. Some issues in terms of the scheduling because clubs want a little bit more time to build their squads and all of those issues. So hopefully that will also happen. Meanwhile, we have the ISL to look forward to, and we'll be getting you updates on that. Although I think हमारे जैसों को तो काट ही दिया है इस scenario में से. I don't think we will have any opportunity as the press, as media, to get into that bubble, even if we go and isolate. So I don't know. We'll have to keep.
I think they must come up with something, na?
I hope so, but there's nothing that we've heard so far. At least I have not heard. Maybe the big papers and Marcus might have an update on that. We'll check with them. But I'm hoping that since now I'm not so far away from Goa, I'm hoping that they have some sort of arrangements for the media as well to, if not interact with.
I'm sure they will have. I'm sure, like media is a very important part also for any sports.
Yeah.
And
No, I'm saying, like press conferences and things like that can still happen virtually. And, so if they don't want us to be in direct contact with the players, I can fully understand that. But there are ways to have a separate entrance, perhaps, to the stadium and a separate dedicated section where we don't.
Maybe that might they will. I'm sure they will have a separate entrance or something, a separate box for press and all that.
Yeah, because it becomes very hard to report on games if you're not present at the ground and watching the players, and because television might be great, but that's at least those of us who report on sport not used to doing it off the tube. So let's hope that works out. I also want to make a quick comment on Garhwal FC, the Garhwal Heroes, the Delhi-based club. They also played quite encouraging football, Ishfaq. Actually, in the end, even Ara, who were the kind of outsiders in the tournament, they grew into it. They managed a draw against Bangalore United. They scored a goal against an own goal, of course, but they got on the score sheet against Mohammedan.
But that's what we said earlier when Renedy and me and Pandit you were there also. This tournament is like it won't give you time to settle. You lost first match, you are almost out.
Yeah.
So the only 4 matches. Where is their chance to settle in and then play a catch-up game?
Yeah.
By the time your teams are, you feel comfortable and you adopt that the environment, the ground and all that. तब तक तो टूर्नामेंट ही वैसा खत्म हो गया.
बिल्कुल.
And that's what exactly happened for Garhwal and Ara.
अभी देखें हमारे दोस्त कुछ प्लान बना रहे हैं कि गढ़वाल के खिलाफ खेलेंगे शायद दिल्ली लीग में, जब दिल्ली होगी
तो बहुत अच्छा है.
हाँ, तो आएगा, फिर आप लोग को भी बुलाएंगे, थोड़ा आप भी आना खेलने, थोड़ा बीच में.
दिल्ली तो आएंगे हम लोग.
हाँ, ठीक है Ishfaq. So on that note, I think we'll wind up this conversation as well as our coverage more or less of the I-League Qualifier 2020. Congratulations again to Mohammedan Sporting Club and all of the Mohammedan fans in Calcutta and all over the world, wherever you are. We look forward to seeing you in the I-League after a long gap. It should be fun. Good to have some Calcutta representation in the I-League once again. And हमारा आपका सिलसिला जारी रहेगा 420 ग्राम्स पे, इस चैनल पे, न्यूज़ क्लिक चैनल पे. दोनों को लाइक कीजिए, फॉलो कीजिए, सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, नोटिफिकेशन की घंटी दबाइए, all of that, and please keep your feedback coming as well. and we'll come up with, now there will be a bit of a gap between the next on pitch action. So we'll think of other things to chat about. We'll get updates maybe from different parts of the country, figure out what's going on in various places, maybe bring in some ex-footballers from all over there. Ishfaq and us, we have friends, I think, from most places where football is played in this country, as well as the women's game. So we'll do some of those updates in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, thank you very much for joining once again, and we will see you next time.